ASMR video, and let's study for today the Spanish Empire. The Spanish Empire, or Imperio Español. Reina de España y de las Indias. Well, it's one of the most largest empire in the world, and it covered almost all the Americas. The Spanish Empire, sometimes referred to as the Hispanic monarchy or the Catholic monarchy, was a colonial empire governed by Spain between 1492 and 1976. In conjunction with the Portuguese Empire, it was the first empire to usher the European age of discovery and achieve a global scale, controlling vast portion of Americas, Africa, and islands in Asia and Oceania. An important element is that the formation of Spain's empire was the dynastic union between Isabella I of Castile and Ferdinand II of Aragon in 1469 as the Catholic monarchs, which initiated political, religious, and social cohesion. In the beginning, Portugal was the only serious threat to Spanish hegemony in the New World. To end the threat of Portuguese expansion, Spain invaded Portugal. In 1580, defeating Portuguese, French, and English forces. After the Spanish victory in the War of Portuguese Succession, Philip II of Spain obtained the Portuguese crown in 1581, and Portugal and its overseas territories came under the rule with so-called Iberian Union. Beginning with the 1492 arrival of Christopher Columbus, continuing over 3 centuries, the Spanish Empire would expand across the Caribbean islands, half south of America, most Central America, and much of the North America until Alaska. The Mayan were finally conquered in 1697. The Magellan Elcano circumnavigation was the first circumnavigation of Earth, laid the foundation for Spain's Pacific Empire. Spain's Pacific Empire. And for Spanish control over the East Indies, which is right. fighting their wars of independence. By 1900, Spain had also lost its colonies in the Caribbean and Pacific. Caribbean and also in the Pacific. Economienda system. Well, let's talk about some less known facts about Spanish Empire. So, first, it's the economienda system. The Spanish implemented the economienda system, a labor system where Spanish settlers were granted the labor of a specific number of indigenous people in exchange for converting them to Christianity. This system often led to exploitation and abuse of indigenous people. So, let's note this encomienda, 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 system. Another fact is mining and economy. The Spanish were attracted by the Americas, by tales of wealth, and they exploited the vast mineral resources. Particularly silver and gold. From mine places like Potosi in Bolivia, Potosi in Bolivia, Zacatecas in Mexico. This influx of precious metals had a significant economic consequences for Spain and provided a very good income of gold and silver and the rise of wealth in the mother country. Spread of Christianity, which is very important. It's another fact, spread of Christianity. The Catholic Church played a central role in the Spanish Empire, and missionaries were sent to convert indigenous populations from Americas to the Christianity. The construction of churches, cathedrals, and missions was a common feature of Spanish colonial endeavors. Decline and independence movement. Over time, discontent grew among the colonized population, leading to various independence movements in the 19th century. For example, influential figures like Simón Bolívar and José de San Martín played key roles in the liberation of many South American colonies. Alright, now let's talk about some, let's say, less known facts or secret facts. First, let's take a look over Philippine-Mexican galleon trade. Well, the Manila galleons were Spanish trading ships that sailed once or twice a year between Manila in the Philippines and Acapulco, Mexico. This maritime trade route, which was over the Pacific Ocean, like here. You may see it. This maritime trade route operated for over 2 centuries, from 1565 to 1815, and facilitated the exchange of goods, spices and culture between Asia and Americas. Let's talk about the Spanish Florida. Like here, the Spanish Florida. The Spanish Florida established colonies in Florida, particularly in Saint Augustine, which is considered the oldest continuously inhabited European settlement in the United States or continental United States. Florida changed hands multiple times between Spain and other European powers during its colonial history. Right. Let's talk about Spanish Louisiana. Spain controlled a significant portion of the territory that is now Louisiana, including the city of New Orleans, from the 18th century until the Louisiana Purchase in 1803. During this time, Spanish influence left a mark on the culture and architecture of the region. Spanish in the Pacific. While the focus is often on Spanish colonization of Americas, the Spanish Empire established a presence in Pacific. Spanish explorers like Alvaro de Mendoza and Pedro Fernández de Queiroz discovered and named many islands from the Pacific, including Vanuatu and Solomon Islands. Yeah. Spanish in Asia, apart from Philippines, which is right here. Apart from Philippines, the Spanish Empire had a brief presence in Asia, including Macau, and several establishments in Indonesia. However, these territories were eventually lost to the European powers. Spanish Guinea. Equatorial Guinea in Central Africa was a Spanish colony from the late 18th century until it gained independence in 1968. The Spanish presence in Africa is less well known compared to the other European powers. And here it was the Treaty of Pardo between Portugal and Spain, because this was a Portugal trade colony here in Guinea. Piracy and privateers. The Spanish Empire had to contend with piracy on its overseas territories. To counter this, Spain employed privateers and corsairs, such as the famous El Dragon, who fought against Dutch and English pirates in the Caribbean in the 17th century. So, pirates. The Inquisition in America as well. The Inquisition in Americas, initially established in Spain to combat heresy, also extended to the American colonies. While was not pervasive or harsh as in Europe, the Inquisition left an impact on the social and religious life in the colonies, in the Americas. Here we have the Galapagos Islands. Spanish scientific expeditions. Spain conducted several scientific expeditions during the 18th century, contributing to the understanding of the natural world. The Malaspina expedition, led by Alejandro Malaspina, explored the Pacific and South America, conducting scientific research and mapping the coastlines. Well, we can talk about legacy, because the Spanish colonial empire left a lasting legacy in terms of language, religion and culture, and social structures in the region colonized. Spanish remained a major language in many parts of the Americas, and Catholicism is the dominant religion in many former Spanish colonies and Portuguese colonies. So we can say that the Spanish colonial empire had a profound and lasting impact on the history and development of the regions it touched, shaping the course of events in the history. Good. So, here on the map are some islands that were former Spanish colonies or dependent on the Spain colony. These are the Falkland Islands, which now belong to the British. Here we have San Fernandez. And here on the Galapagos we have the Viceroyalty of New Granada and Viceroyalty of Peru. You have the island of San Carlos, Easter Island, Easter Island. Well, in the north, like I said in the beginning, almost Alaska was under Spanish rule. And we have Territorial de Nootka. And this one was disputed with Russia and the UK. This was before Alaska was under the American control. areas. So the map here is Imperio Español, Reino de España y de las Indias, en su máxima extensión. In su máxima extensión, which was in 1790s. Right. Well, that's we can say we are done with the Spanish Empire analysis. And I hope you enjoyed this video as the other ones. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I wish you all the best.